G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another in my series of EV realist videos in which I try to inject a note of sanity into the mad dash for EVs and net zero currently being spruiked by our governments around the world. So if you like this kind of content, it'd be great to have you as a subscriber, and don't forget to enable all notifications so you never miss another video. Today we're going to look at yet another reason why Australia is the worst place on earth to mandate an entirely electric fleet of vehicles. Australia, in the words of the famous poem by Dorothea Mackellar, is a land of droughts and flooding rains. And despite what the greenies will say, these things have happened for thousands and thousands of years, long before it became fashionable to blame every fire and flood on climate change. So when bushfires or floods strike, as they will inevitably continue to do, what's the first thing that fails? The electricity. And how do you charge up your EV to escape a flood or a bushfire if there's no electricity? Or what about if the rescue vehicles themselves are electric? How do you charge those up? All of these points and more were made in an excellent speech to the Australian Federal Parliament a few days ago by the Liberal, that's our centre-right, party member for Forest in Western Australia, Nola Marino. Let's take a look at the video, and as always, the link's in the description.
I want to paint you a picture. In the sudden summer lightning strikes that caused the Yarloop bushfires in 2016, 69,000 hectares was burnt and 2 people lost their lives. With the windy conditions, the fires moved very quickly. Given the time of year, we were home working on our dairy farm. As the fires raged, one of the first things we lost was our electricity. The poles and wires had been burnt. The first thing we had to do was fuel up each of our farm and personal vehicles in case we had to evacuate, and to move those farm vehicles into green paddocks and away from the fires as much as we could. Very quickly, several of our neighbours came to fuel up at our farm fuel tanks because their own vehicles were low on fuel and they didn't have enough fuel to get away when they were told they had to evacuate because the fires were so close. When towns and communities, whole towns and communities, are told to evacuate, how will they get away from the fires, the cyclones or floods when there is little or no charge left in their batteries? Where and how far will we have to go to charge our vehicles or find a charging station that actually works? And if we do, how long will the queues be? People in the Harvey and Yarloop communities were told to leave and travel to an evacuation centre or to family or friends to get away from the fires. Well, where will they go when there's no power to charge their vehicles to get away? How is the government planning to risk-proof our areas and people in these circumstances?
I highly recommend you go and watch the rest of this video at the link. I mean, it's right on the money. As she said, you can store a tank of diesel on a farm and fill up as many vehicles as you need extremely quickly. What's the electrified alternative? Installing a battery on every farm? Give me a break. Reliance on EVs alone in the event of a natural disaster would inevitably put lives at risk. Whereas a diesel truck or petrol car with a tank full of fuel will beat any EV hands down in these circumstances. But don't expect this kind of common sense to have any effect on the environmental extremism of our government's net zero policy, which is just pure ideology. Anyway, that's just about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you've got any tips or stories, you can hit me up on Instagram or by email, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.